Why is gut health crucial for optimal weight loss? My name is Sherry Stoka, and I'm founder and owner of Weight Loss MD and Wellness. I wanted to put this short video together because we are so often faced with people that come in with a desire to lose weight, but Weight Loss MD is about really looking into foundational issues. And sometimes we really do need to go that route and dig a little bit deeper. So I wanted to put this together so that we can all get on a level playing field as it relates to gut health, because it truly does play a role in all aspects of the human body. So let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to show this slide, and I wanted you to take just a quick moment to look at this and think about where you are on this wellness continuum. And it doesn't matter what age you are, because at whatever age it is, whether you are in your 20s, 30s, 70s, or 80s, you can feel your best. And I think we all just really got used to feeling bad. And when we're talking to the next person, they feel horrible too. So it's kind of like become this normal state, and it doesn't need to be that. So look at this, kind of put that number, write that number down, because you can definitely improve that. And this is an opportunity for you to really reflect on how you are actually feeling. Three things that you must understand. How you feel is not just in your head, it's also in your gut. I will obviously get in more detail about this. How you burn fat is not just how much you eat and how much you exercise. Our gut and our brain are constantly communicating. Our gut is often called our second brain. So, again, keeping that in mind, it is so crucial to so many aspects of human health. If one is out of balance or unhealthy, the other one is going to be as well. They are that tightly integrated that you will often see the two compromised at the same time. By improving your gut, you improve your mental health and ultimately your body. So let's take a closer look and really sort of define what the heck the gut is. And if you look at the image to the left, you see the digestive tract. So digestion, most people know, begins in the mouth, and your digestive tract ends at the anus when you excrete all of the waste after it goes through the entire digestion process. The gut of the body is primarily in the intestines. So you see the large intestine and you see the small intestine here. And so a lot of absorption happens in the small intestine here. The stomach obviously plays a very huge role in breaking down certain foods, killing certain pathogens or bugs or whatever you are faced with, whatever in your food, or if you're eating certain processed foods or in a restaurant, whatever that may be, the human body is really designed to obviously keep you healthy. So you see the image on your left, and you see an image that says good and bad bacterial flora. And that is essentially what our entire human body is made up of. We are made up of so many different organisms, but the majority of them are in our intestines, primarily the large intestine. So what happens over time is all of the bad organisms begin to take over. And that is it can be for many reasons. And usually it's because it's like the perfect storm. So you perhaps have, you're on multiple medications, you eat a poor diet, you don't get exercise, you're in a bad relationship. So there's multiple things that add to this environment that really turns turns bad very quickly, but we'll talk a little bit more about what all happens from there. So just to reiterate how important this ecosystem, which is called our microbiome, is, it is crucial to total health. So our organisms, or our microbiome, again, communicates with the brain to regulate our health, our weight, our immune system, our digestive function, our mood, and overall mental health. What we put in our body affects these organisms, because these organisms are fed by certain foods. So if you are eating a diet that is high in unhealthy sugar, unhealthy fats, processed foods, you are certainly going to feed the unhealthy bacteria. So how do you know when you're in balance? You feel great. You know, your mental state is optimal. You have a lot of energy. You're getting good sleep. You know, most people know if they feel good. When you are out of balance, which is the majority of people walking around, you are tired, you are sad, you have anxiety, you feel stressed, you're hungry all the time, you have cravings, you're confused, you have brain fog. This is a sign that you need to look deeper into your health, and not just about the amount of calories and exercise that you're doing. And that is why we talk about this all the time, because we really need to start learning about how we can regain this balance. How do your two brains communicate? So they call the gut the second brain. And how they communicate is through a network known as the gut-brain axis. So essentially, this is a network of nerves, chemicals such as neurotransmitters, hormones, certain cells. Our immune system is primarily in the gut. So again, there is this axis, this network that essentially needs to be supported. And it just shows that there is a constant communication and regulation between these two systems. So bad bacteria versus good. Like I said, we have bad bacteria, we have good bacteria. And sometimes the bad bacteria is fine. It's there. It's there for a reason. It's not really causing harm. But over time, when we begin to see this compromised gut and the balance begins to weigh on the side of the bad bacteria, now disease processes begin to set in. And this is what we talk about all of the time, because a lot of our patients are very inflamed. A lot of our patients have autoimmune disorders. I mean, our immune system is in our gut. I mean, 50% of the patients we see now, we're working with them on their digestion, because, you know, people are living with all of these symptoms, and they kind of think it's just, you know, part of who they are and they're just dealing with it. But we are here to tell you that if you have digestive symptoms, food sensitivities, you know, brain fog, acne, those things are typically not normal. And again, just to reiterate the fact that the gut and the brain are in constant communication. You know, there's a reason why, you know, when you get butterflies in your stomach, it's because you are emotionally, your brain, you are either in love or you're anxious. You know, when we are under a lot of stress, we tend to have digestive issues. So again, this is just a slide to show you that they're constantly communicating and affecting one another. So obviously nutrition is so important. What you feed your microbiome, which is all these different organisms, is crucial. I mean, it is just crucial. And most people have heard about probiotics, which is the good bacteria. And, you know, it's great. You know, people are taking probiotics, but oftentimes, they don't really know if those specific strains are beneficial to them. But again, it is, there's probiotics you can just get from food, such as you can see here, the yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. There's a, a ton of different foods that have probiotics. Prebiotics are something that most people are not really familiar with, but this can be almost more important than a probiotic. And that's another presentation. But prebiotic foods are actually a fiber. And essentially, these can be fermented and digested by healthy gut bacteria. So they feed the healthy bacteria. The bad bacteria do not feed on prebiotics. So this is another reason why we're always making sure that people are diversifying their diet. They're getting different types of vegetables. They are trying new foods. It's very, very important. And then you have phytobiotics, which are foods that are rich in flavonoids, which again are protecting this environment and really keeping the bad bacteria at a level that does not harm the human body. And I can't say enough about these three things. And I think this slide, if anything else, take a look at the slide. And if you're suffering miserably in one of these areas, it's something that over time you really need to really focus on improving, because it plays such a huge role in not only our total health, but our weight, that we spend a lot of time talking about these things as well. So what causes destruction or the beginning of inflammation in the body or the intestines? So as you can see here, if you can picture this, the intestines, this is a cellular, one cell layer thick cellular wall that essentially protects the outside, toxins, drugs, pathogens that we're consuming. This one cell layer wall protects us from it getting into our bloodstream, where essentially if something does get in, you can see that our immune system is right there to kind of attack if something happens to slip through. But what has happened over time is the cells, because they're inflamed for so long, they begin to just completely separate. And so now what happens is there are things that get into circulation that absolutely should not be there. And that's why, food now becomes a problem. That's why autoimmunity becomes a problem, because our immune system cannot keep up with everything that is getting through. And we need to address this, because this causes not only symptomatically, it's not pleasant for anyone to deal with these types of gut issues, but ultimately long term, we have got to heal this gut so that the body doesn't start retaining water and is resistant to weight loss, because this is really an underlying cause for weight loss resistance. I wanted to show you an example. I know you probably cannot see this in great detail, but this is an example of a test that we do called the GI-MAT. We are able to look at the gut organisms in great detail. And this is just an example of us being able to identify what is going on and where are the imbalances and how significant are they. Because if they're an active infection, well, we can treat that. If there's an imbalance, well, and we need to add more prebiotics or probiotics, we can do that. So this test has honestly changed people's lives so quickly and so dramatically. And this is just another on the right hand side. You can see that, believe it or not, people do have pathogenic parasites. So we all have parasites. It's just a matter of, are they causing harm? So this test is going to look into that. It's going to look at certain markers of your immune system. Is there blood in your stool? As you can see, I kind of outlined some of the possible imbalances, which would be infections, low healthy bacteria, overgrowth of whether it's good or bad bacteria, low pancreatic enzymes, so maybe you're not even digesting your food very well, so now it's going into circulation undigested, and that's usually due to low stomach acid. Do you have worms or parasites or viruses, blood and stool? Do you have inflammation? So again, this test is, we do this on the majority of our patients who have some sort of related gut issues. So coming back to this continuum, what can you do? 80% of chronic diseases are preventable. So there's a lot you can do. And it's not always about the situation that you're in or the genetics that you are given. You can always improve your health and feel your best. And we just really want people to understand that foundational issues, which largely are the gut and which ultimately affect the brain, are just such an important part to long-term weight loss. So just ask yourself, what is holding you back? Is it still you? Is it still you thinking that you can't make those changes? Do you still think it might be, you just were given genetics that are hard to overcome? Are you too busy? Do you not have the willpower? At the end of the day, we really just must start thinking very differently about how we not only lose weight, but how we maintain it long term. Thank you very much.